Hello, I'm Eric Prosnitz, and I'm here with CEO John Elling to present the technology developed by GPER G1 Development Group.
GPER G1 is developing a novel therapeutic for the treatment of diabetes and obesity. We're targeting the G-coupled protein estrogen receptor, GPER, that Dr. Prosnitz discovered and has characterized at the University of New Mexico. We've licensed the technology, we're seed funded, and we've received about $300,000 in an NIH grant. My name is John Elling. I'm the CEO of the company. I've been a technology entrepreneur in northern New Mexico for more than 20 years now. Dr. Prosnitz at the University of New Mexico is coordinating the science, and Andrea Garcia is our COO. Diabetes and the underlying obesity is a major medical issue in the first world. It's a significant contributor to death annually with a huge economic burden. The market for diabetes treatment is about $50 billion annually. About half of that is spent in the United States, and that's expected to increase to $78 billion globally by 2026. There are four major classes of drugs that are used to treat diabetes, and all of these have significant impediments to use, including some very nasty side effects. Our opportunity is to introduce a fifth new class of drugs to treat diabetes by targeting the GPER receptor. The G1 agonist against that receptor in preliminary animal testing at the University of New Mexico has treated diabetes by improving insulin sensitivity and stabilizing blood glucose. In these trials, G1 modulates the energy use of the animals. It increases the energy use of the animals without increasing their food intake or making them hyperactive, so they lose weight. This works, we believe, by targeting brown fat. Now, everybody has brown fat. In infants, it's used to keep them warm. In adults, it becomes inactive. The G1 compound against this target seems to reactivate brown fat in adults. Now, this is a unique new target for treating diabetes that has the potential of really overcoming the limitations or bypassing the limitations of the current classes of drugs. In particular, G1 is orally available, and insulin and some of the other treatments require injection, so it'll be much more easily adopted by the patients. G1, we've also seen, has multiple treatment opportunities for cardiovascular disease and liver disease, and of course directly in obesity. Obesity in and of itself is a major unmet medical need, and the pharmaceutical companies have not done very well in introducing treatments for it. The science and the animal trials to date has been published in Science Translational Medicine earlier this year. This article and all the supporting data is available if you'd like to see it. Just let us know. The University of New Mexico's patents include composition of matter patents on G1 and the other compounds they found that bind this receptor. These are about 10 years old. In the last year, we received method patents for targeting the GPER receptor for metabolic indications, and we also have a trademark application for G1 use in type 2 diabetes. So as you can see, we have some very broad and some very long-lived intellectual property. This is a fairly low-risk drug startup because the G1 compound is already in phase 1 clinical trials by another company, Linnaeus Pharmaceuticals, for the oncology indications that they've licensed. This means that G1 has already been through the preclinical testing and in a successful IND application once. That gives us a lot of confidence that there are no ADME and tox surprises waiting for us as we repeat this process. We also know that this is really going to facilitate our IND application because the FDA is already very familiar with this compound. Right now we're focusing on executing our grant. A company in Philadelphia has synthesized 100 grams of the compound for us. It's being separated into its isomers. The active isomer is going to be sent to some contract testers for ADME and tox testing. The data is going to go into a phase 2 STTR proposal that might be worth as much as $2 million towards the testing for an IND application. Again, we don't expect any problems in these tests because the compound has already been through this testing once for the oncology indications. In addition to working on the grant, we're talking to pharmaceutical companies who are very interested in this opportunity. We've signed a material transfer agreement with one large company, and they are going to be testing G1 alongside us. We're going to be able to use their data and their commercial interest to fortify our NIH phase 2 application. We're also going to be raising about $200,000, which we're going to invest in some consultants to help us navigate the pharmaceutical licensing discussions, as well as some consultants that are familiar with the FDA process and can correctly describe the testing that we need to do in phase 2 towards an IND application. In summary, we're very excited. We have a first-in-class drug that's targeting a significant unmet medical need, and we have a low-risk path to clinical trials. I hope you agree.
Thank you for joining us today. We would like to open it up for a short Q&A session.